All right, let's go to Gabriel in Toronto. What's up, Gabriel?
Hey, man. I'm good. How are you?
I'm outstanding, brother. How we doing?
Yeah, I'm doing all right.
All right, man. So what's up? How can I help?
Yeah, so I would like to propose to my girlfriend. But when I spoke to her dad sometime around March, he did not give me his blessing to take her hand in marriage.
Oh, no. He said no?
Yeah, he said no.
Dude.
And that was in March.
Tell me how that...
So
hold on.
it.
How did the conversation go? Did this shock you, or did you know this was coming?
No, you know what? I didn't know what to expect, so I guess it kind of did shock me. I just asked him, like, yeah, we've known each other for this time, and I have this much money. And he's like, oh, yeah, that amount can buy you a trip, like, just buy you a flight ticket. Basically said, I have no money. I don't have an education. And he said to chill for 5 years.
For 5 years?
Yeah, that's what he told her. Yeah.
That's what he told her. All right, so you... wow. One day, I got to check with him and make sure he's cool that I tell that story. One day, I'll tell the story on this show about when I asked my father-in-law if I could marry his daughter. It's outstanding, his response to me. And by outstanding, like, I still shiver. But, so you just got to outright no. So you called this dude. Did you call him, or did you go in person? Please tell me it was in person.
No, so she lives in a different country, so I have to call him.
Okay, so you call him, and he just says no. And then do you circle back to her? Does she know this exchange happened?
Yeah.
So what does she say? I'm out? Or forget that guy?
Yeah, she gets pretty emotional about it.
Well, I would imagine so. I'm kind of at a loss. I haven't heard of this happening very often. And so,
okay.
Does she want to still go through with this thing? I mean, how can I help? Let me say it that way.
Yeah. So she does. Like, she wants me to propose. She wants to get married. But I always heard, like, I obviously I want to respect, like, her dad's blessing. I mean, it's his daughter, right? But so the problem is that he doesn't really treat her family the best.
Mm-hmm.
And she told me that he has, like, some narcissistic traits.
What's the culture
right?
here?
And so he's Nigerian.
Okay.
So a lot of, like, I mean, I'm not saying all Nigerians are like, but like,
no. It provides cultural context there. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a lot of pride. You need to be stable, have an education. Like, that's a must, or else you're stupid.
Right. Well, and that's not just
Yeah.
Nigerian. That's many, many, many cultures, right? So you asked for this blessing, you didn't get it, and were you really asking for it, or were you trying to do the thing that you thought you were supposed to do, and that, of course, he was going to say yes, welcome to the family, or were you really asking? Because if you were really asking, he said no. If you were doing it more as a romantic gesture, and now you got some input that you weren't really asking for, that's a whole other track. So were you really asking, or no?
I would have liked to have his blessing before, so I guess yes.
Okay.
Yeah, but I asked it in March, and then now I'm going to see her in September.
Okay.
So it's kind of like a while, and I have her mom's blessing.
He said 5 years, man. You've given it like 3 months.
Yeah.
So it's not the greatest timeline. So let's back out for a second. Is he right?
Okay.
Do you have no money? Do you not have an education?
No.
Do you not have her best interest in mind?
So I made a plan to not go to post-secondary, pursue entrepreneurship.
Okay.
And
are you actually pursuing entrepreneurship? Or are you just one of those guys that does a lot of, like, Googling, and you want to be like a like a halfway day trader because I got an idea and I got a lot of money in Bitcoin? Or are you actually working 130 hours a week to get a new small business off the ground?
So I have been, but like not 130 hours or whatever, but I have like a few businesses, but I wanted to start something on the ground once I move, so I don't just start something here and then have to leave, you know?
Then what's holding you back?
Pretty,
you're not in school. You're not working. You're entrepreneuring. Why don't you just move now and get going?
Because it's really hard to get a permit, get a visa.
Absolutely.
And if we got married, I would get it instantly. And avoid that.
Man, this whole thing's getting messier by the second.
Yeah.
So, how old are you?
21.
21.
Sorry.
Do you want to marry this girl because you love her? Or do you want to marry this girl because she's going to get you relocated faster?
No, because I love her.
How long have you all been together?
Yeah. I wouldn't care where we went. About a year and a few months now.
What's the rush?
I think we kind of just want to start our life together. I mean, this is all mutual, by the way. It's not just me like wanting a visa, wanting like all this stuff. I know that could sound bad, but yeah, we just kind of want to start our life together. Start living together. She's starting a business too, so I'll help her with hers. I guess we just want to start our life, you know? And she wants to move out of the house. I want to move out. Yeah.
Ultimately, there's a couple things at play here. And some of this you're not asking me, but I'm telling you anyway. Okay. If you're going to, quote unquote, commit to a life of entrepreneurship, I can tell by your voice you're not there yet. Because committing to a life of entrepreneurship isn't just, I got a couple of businesses I'm starting. I'm just going to sell shoes on eBay. Does that work? Yes, there's a thing and blah, blah. Be committed to an idea, to making this thing work, to adding value and good in the world. And dude, that purpose, that why, that drive should have you up before any of your neighbors and should have you working way into the night. In that, there's an entrepreneurial ethos. When you're around real entrepreneurs, you can feel it on them. And it isn't something that you do to avoid college. Or I got a couple ideas, man. I'm just thinking about, because I know those guys too, and they're just wet blankets. They're just sad, drippy. Bleh. I'm like, my shoulders are ooging up right now. Does that make sense? And so if you're going to commit to that, there'll be a fire in you. Like a fire.
Yeah.
And that will make its way through the telephone. That will be somebody that dads want you around, right? Because you have a zest for life. You've got a zest for adding value to other people, especially and foremost, that guy's daughter. Okay, so you didn't ask me about that. If I want you to hang up this phone and sit down and actually say, what do I want to do? And it shouldn't like just sitting around wait until you move, or I want to start. Get going today, man. Get going today. And if you build up a bunch of clients and then a year later you're married and you're living in a new country or a new town, awesome. The skills you'll have learned now will translate directly where you are. Whatever that hustle is, that grind is, the how to get funding is, the hours work, all of it nothing will be a waste. Nothing. Okay? So that's unsolicited. As it comes to his daughter, is a simple thing. He said no. He said, wait 5 years. And so y'all can either get married. No, he doesn't have his blessing. Depending on who he is, the cultural implications, where he lies in his family, all that stuff, he may cut you out forever. And if y'all are good with that, then be good with that. Go into it with eyes wide open. Or he may have been blowing smoke at you just to see what kind of man you are. and you get married and he gets really pissed off, and then you really show him how much you love his daughter, what kind of good you're adding to your local community, to her life, to the world, to that family, and then he comes around. And then in 5 or 10 or 15 or 20 years, this is a funny story that y'all tell at religious holidays. Or you hold off. That's what it comes down to. So is she willing to say, forget this guy, I'm out of my dad's house, I'm moving out, I don't care what he has to say, I've got my mom's blessing, that's good enough for me, let's get married?
Yeah.
Okay, then what are you waiting for? Something's holding you back.
I'm planning to do it in September, so not much is holding me back. I just wanted to get some wisdom and insight, I guess, right?
Yeah, at the end of the day, she's not property. She's her own person.
Yeah.
And dad said no, and it's going to be hard. Okay? It's going to be tough.
Mm-hmm.
And so don't think it's just going to be this, I'll be all good. It may not. He may cut y'all out. Hopefully he doesn't. So here's what I would do if I were you. Okay? Here's what I would do. If I asked my father-in-law, hey, can I have your daughter's hand in marriage? And he said, no, you can't. I think you're a bum. I think you're lazy. I haven't seen that you love her. You're 21. You're a kid. You've only been dating her for a year. No, y'all aren't ready for that. And then that stings, and you go back to her, and she gets upset, and you're upset. And then you decide, you know what? I'm going to do it anyway. 4 or 5 months later, here's what I would do out of respect. I would write him a letter. Handwritten letter. No, I'd probably type this one. I'd write him a letter and say, I want you to know I've taken your words into account and I'm grateful for your perspective. Here's the things that I'm doing. Here's how I love your daughter. Here's my commitments to your daughter. Here's my commitments to your family. I am choosing to go forward and ask her to marry me. I do have your wife's blessing. I hope that in time you and I can come together and have a great relationship. I do understand that I'm going forward without your blessing. I hope that you will give me your blessing in time. And that way you are looking him back, like you eye to eye him. Y'all did over the phone, but you said, can I have the most precious thing in your world? And he said, no. And now what you're saying is, I'm taking it. And I am going to join your family. I am not taking it because you don't own her either. I am going to co-create a world together with your daughter. And I want you to know that I respect you and I appreciate it, your insight and input. And I hope that in time I can earn your blessing. But I'm moving forward. And that way there's no secret, there's no hiding, there's no you ducked into a corner and just did this thing. No, you stood back up. You have enough courage to override the blessing that you asked for, that you didn't get. But y'all need to have clear eyes about what this relationship's going to look like without dad. He may not go to the wedding. He may not fund the wedding. He may tell all the brothers and sisters, y'all are forbidden to go, and some of them may not go. All those things, make sure you have your eyes wide open. Please go to a pre-marriage counselor. Talk about this stuff. Because it's going to be hard on your wife, especially if she loves her and respects her dad. This is a hard, rock and a hard place she's found herself between, right? So please go to premarital counseling, get some insight into this, and best of luck to you, brother. Let me know how it goes. I am interested if you're going to go ahead and propose in the next month or so, and I guess when the shows come out, it'll be right about when you're doing this. Let me know how it goes. Write me back, and I'd love to hear about, does he come around, or does he cut y'all out, or what happens next? But kudos to you for your bravery, brother. Stand up on both feet and look him back in the eye, and take the high road. Make sure he's got something to hold in his hand.